we just rehearsed for the gig. So if any of you have any other opportunities for us to sing, we cost zero. And we'd be happy to entertain singing for something else in town. We not only get together because we like to sing, but also because we've been silent for a long, long time.
But we won't be silent no more, no. We won't be silent no more, no.
We've been sitting for a long, long time.
But we won't be sitting no more, no. We won't be sitting no more, no. No more, oh no more sitting. We won't be sitting no more, no. No more, oh no more sitting. We won't be sitting no more, no.
We've been waiting for a long, long time.
But we won't be waiting no more, no. We won't be waiting no more, no.
We've been fearing for a long, long time.
But we won't be fearing no more, no. We won't be fearing no more, no. No more, oh no more fearing. We won't be fearing no more, no. No more, oh no more fearing. We won't be fearing no more, no.
We've been patient for a long, long time.
But we won't be patient no more, no. We won't be patient no more, no.
We've been lazy for a long, long time.
But we won't be lazy no more, no. We won't be lazy no more, no. No more, oh no more lazy. We won't be lazy no more, no. No more, oh no more lazy. We won't be lazy no more, no. So we have a little song to sing, a song about love and justice, because it's time to let that freedom ring. And so we'll sing this song, because we just don't fear anymore. And our love will have the way in a world that cries for justice now. So we have a little song to sing, a song about love and justice, because it's time to let that freedom ring. And so we'll sing this song, because we just don't fear anymore. Until every note is said, we will work together. Until all the words are said, we will sing together. And our love will have the way in a world that cries for justice now. So we hope you'll join the song. There's more to do than sing, as we work together, world of justice, where we can finally get that freedom ring. And so we'll sing this song, because we just can't wait anymore. Until every note is said, we will work together. Until all the words are said, we will sing together. Until all is finally dead, we will walk together.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ben Martig. I'm the City Administrator of Northfield. What a great performance by the Justice Choir. I observed them at the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration that we had here, and it's just a joy to have them again in this wonderful performing arts facility. As the City Administrator, I serve at the pleasure of the Mayor and the City Council. As the Chief Administrative Officer of the City, I work with our dedicated, energetic, and talented staff in delivering excellent, innovative municipal services that carry out the City's vision for a high quality of life for all. Thank you for joining us this evening to hear about our state of the city. This is our opportunity to come together to celebrate people and accomplishments, but also to be honest, both kudos and concerns about where we are as a community and where we have the opportunity to make positive change. This year's program will recap the progress made and challenges found in each of our 6 Council Strategic Plan priority areas, which include economic development, affordable housing, infrastructure, operational effectiveness, diversity, equity, inclusion, and climate change impacts. Additionally, we will honor those who have given back, the many dedicated civic volunteers, and to celebrate our future leaders, as delivered by Mayor Pownell, and to also share in recognizing some of the special and talented members of our community. Before we get rolling with the program, let me briefly thank some individuals and organizations that made this event happen. First, thank you to Carleton College President Stephen Poskanzer for allowing us the privilege of presenting in this beautiful space this evening and generously providing us with your talented technical staff that are assisting in our production tonight. Before we get too far in the program, I'd also like to thank employees Michelle Mahol, Communications and Human Resources Director, Carrie Bondi, Communications Specialist, and Kurt Wolf, IT Manager, for their work in helping out this event to pull this together. Also, staff helped in assembling the slideshows, so appreciate them as well. Can we give a round of applause for those that helped make this happen? Additionally, we want to take a moment to recognize all of our fantastic sponsors that helped make this event possible as well. Xcel Energy has provided our refreshments again this year following this presentation. I encourage you to join me in conversation, as well as lively music provided by Randall Ferguson in the atrium afterwards. We'll have elected and appointed officials, so please come and join us. And now I'd like to give the opportunity to hear from our sponsors, including Lisa Peterson of the Northfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, as well as Scott Richardson, President of the Northfield Rotary Club, to say a few words.
Hello, and thank you. The Northfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism is proud to partner with the City of Northfield for this great evening. Our mission at the Chamber is to lead in the creation, promotion, and enhancement of a healthy business environment for the Northfield area. And I believe that by working together, we can do just that. Did you know that the Chamber is responsible for organizing some of our community's largest events, including Crazy Days in the summer and Winter Walk during the holidays, and then this spring, the Northfield Area Home and Garden Show? We hope that you'll take the opportunity to come to the show and visit with our vendors about all things home, garden, life, leisure, health, and spring. It's coming, I promise. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 6th at the Northfield Ice Arena from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Oops, I changed it. I'm sorry. I did. It's one of these fancy touchscreen ones. I'm not used to that. Another way that we support the business community is through our Chamber Bucks program. This unique program keeps dollars local and encourages our citizens to shop with our businesses in town. Each year, over $25,000 flows through our nearly 200 businesses that accept Chamber Bucks throughout Northfield and Dundas. They are available for purchase at the Chamber office, which is on Bridge Square, during our regular business hours, and I encourage you that if you're going to be spending your dollars, you do so locally. Thank you, and have a great night.
Good evening. My name is Scott Richardson, President of the Northfield Rotary Club, and I didn't imagine I was going to be there in that size, but delighted to be here, and I have only a brief time to share information about our club with you, so I'm going to jump right into it with, in conclusion, Northfield Rotary is organized around the principle of service above self. We are committed to the promotion of ethics and honesty in our personal and professional relationships. Our four-way test goes like this, and if there's Rotarians in the audience, you could join me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Now, Northfield Rotary is a forward-leaning organization that strives to build peace and understanding through service and personal relationships. We are known for our dynamic youth exchange program, one of the most robust in the country. We are known for our efforts to eradicate polio, our service projects, both local and international, and our commitment to climate change. Currently, we are finishing a clean water project in Guatemala, working on bringing EV charging stations to Northfield, and our next big idea is a partnership with Northfield Union of Youth to remodel the quay. We are serious about our work, but we have fun doing it. So if you are not a Rotarian, we invite you to check us out. We meet every Thursday noon at the United Methodist Church. You're welcome to come, and if you're just the least bit curious, please join us. And we're delighted to be able to help sponsor this event tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Once your image is on the internet, you never know where you're going to show up. Thank you again to our sponsors this evening. Appreciate everything that you've done to help make this happen. Chad Van Zylen was a son, husband, father, friend, utilities operator, and paid on-call firefighter, ice arena attendant, and active community member who just passed away last month. I'm thankful for Chad's service and hard work, not just keeping utilities running, but also protecting lives as a paid on-call firefighter with the Northfield Area Fire and Rescue. It's a sad time for our employees, and especially our public works crews. His loss has had an impact on our entire community, and he will be greatly missed. Here are some words shared about Chad from some of our employees who are here this evening. Chad was a hard worker. He had a great attitude and he enjoyed his job in the utilities division. Chad's smile, energy, and great laugh had an impact on anyone who worked by his side. We never heard him complain. Even if you were in the worst mood, Chad would walk into the room and make you smile. He wasn't afraid to get after it. He always jumped in the most compromising jobs. He was a hard worker and able to fix large and small machinery. He was always up for a challenge. His vehicles were spotless, always so clean. He was meticulous, neat, and an organized guy. Chad really cared for his boys. He put them ahead of everything. He was close with his parents and took care of his mother. Chad always ran into somebody he knew. Friends and family gravitated toward him. He was just a good all-around person to be around. Please join me in a moment of silence to reflect and pay tribute to Chad. Our thoughts and condolences are with Chad's family, friends, and co-workers during this difficult time. The City of Northfield does work for the common good of our residents and businesses and the improvement of our community by providing excellent, innovative municipal services that carry out our vision for a high quality of life for all. Our employees put this mission statement to action in our service delivery areas that include parks and ice arena management, library, arts, Department of Motor Vehicles, Police and Emergency Management, streets, liquor store, drinking water, stormwater management, wastewater, collection and treatment, building inspections, planning and zoning, housing, economic development, elections and licensing, rental code enforcement, stormwater, communications, internal administrative services such as human resources, finance, and the list goes on. We've had the most snowfall in February ever recorded at over 39 inches. This snow pile in the photo includes 800 semi-loads from the downtown area. See if you can pick out our public works employees out of our giant snow pile down at the street shop. We have many employees here today, and I'd ask that our employees stand to be recognized for your wonderful services to the community. have a number of other probably past officials that the mayor's going to recognize, but I did also want to call out former City Administrator Tim Madigan's here this evening. So Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming with us. All right, now to really get the program kicked off. We're really excited here to have this opportunity to introduce our Mayor, Rhonda Pownell. Mayor Pownell was first elected as a City Council member to the City Council in 2008. She was elected to the office of mayor in 2016 while serving her second term as council member at large and is now in her 11th year of public service on behalf of our community. Please join me in a round of applause in welcoming our mayor, Rhonda Pownell.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ben, for that nice introduction for us this evening. I have the distinct privilege to be able to work alongside a highly dedicated, intelligent, and courageous, can I say that again? Courageous City Council. These people are true leaders. Each one of them brings a unique perspective and insight to leading our community. Together, our analysis, debate, and yes, even disagreement improves the value of the ideas, brings attention to risks, and helps us be a stronger community. Could my council colleagues that are here tonight please stand? We currently have over 200 talented people serving on our boards, commissions, and committees. All of you play such an essential role in researching items and making recommendations to the City Council. And you're some of our best frontline ambassadors to our community. Could all of you that are here in attendance tonight please stand? Thank you all so much for your service to our community. The Northfield Poet Laureate Program is sponsored by the City of Northfield and funded by the Northfield Public Library and the Friends of the Library in partnership with the Northfield Arts and Culture Commission. Now in its third year, ongoing funding is provided through a Southeastern Minnesota Arts Council grant and the Northfield Public Library. Poet Laureate Rob Hardy, in his third of 3 years as Northfield's official poet, has created poetry programs at the library, the schools, content books, the colleges, and brought nationally known poets to town for special readings. Rob has created a very special, inclusive poem for the library's atrium. He also creates poetry for special civic events such as this one tonight. Rob has been a tremendous founding poet laureate for the City of Northfield. It is my honor to welcome Rob Hardy, Northfield Poet Laureate, to share his poem, Tributaries, as a special tribute to our past elected city leaders who have given their time and talents to our community. Rob?
Tributaries. The river does not all flow from the same place, not all from Shields Lake, not from the same rain, not from the snow melting from a single field, but from hundreds of tributaries, named and unnamed, that gather and braid their waters into one river, that join the land into one watershed, shaped by the patient force of so many waters flowing together. It was the work of many hands to raise a town, to stand upon this river's banks, to build a place to pass along for other hands to shape into a home. Every act of service flows into a channel shaped by every other act. Each one of us comes from a different place, carrying with us the silt of where we've been, which is never enough to make ourselves an island. We can only thrive in confluence. We are tributaries, and our service is the tribute we pay to something greater than ourselves.
Thank you, Rob, for sharing your poem with us, and again for your role as our poet laureate. I love the following lines in your poem that state, "Every act of service flows into a channel shaped by every other act. We can only thrive in confluence. We are tributaries, and our service is a tribute that we pay to something greater than ourselves." Thank you. So tonight, as we said before, Rob's poem is written in dedication to the members of our community who were elected officials from as far back as 1968 to the present. We are truly thankful for the dedication and commitment of these public servants to our community. For many generations, city councils, working together with the public, boards and commissions, and city staff have been making short and long-term decisions that matter and have formed and shaped our cherished community into what it is today. We have a special certificate for all of you that are here this evening with Rob's poem on it that we'd like to honor you with after tonight's program. Could all of the past mayors and city councilors that are here in attendance tonight please stand? Okay, would the City Council please join me on the stage for this next portion of our awards program this evening. So we are honored tonight to recognize some of our future 4th and 5th grade civic leaders who submitted fun, creative responses to our Mayor for a Day essay contest. We are in our 2nd year of this program, building off a program that has been underway with the League of Minnesota Cities that is open in late fall and early summer, which we encourage you all to take part in as well. This year's essay poses the following question. There are 6 priorities in the City of Northfield strategic plan. If you were mayor for a day, which 2 priorities would you place the most emphasis on for the long-term health and well-being of our community? Please explain your ideas and how you would accomplish those 2 priorities and why they would make life here in Northfield better. Mayor Pro Tem Brad Ness and I both thoroughly enjoyed reading through the Mayor for a Day essays, and I would dare say we shared a couple giggles. It was pretty inspiring. Yes. So we were really inspired by their creativity, their thoughtfulness, attention to detail, and courage in putting pencil to paper in an essay that would be showcased publicly. 6 essays from 4th and 5th grade students were chosen based on their creativity, originality, and legibility. All essays will be displayed at City Hall and the Northfield Why are you laughing? We truly could read them, honest. No, they had great legibility. All essays will be displayed at City Hall and the Northfield Public Library. The winners were displayed in the atrium as you came in today, and I encourage you to read through them as you enjoy some refreshments afterwards. Essays will be displayed in City Hall, on the wall outside the council chambers, and at the City Library. Could our 4th and 5th grade winners please come forward to receive your award as your name is called? Please hold your applause until all the winners have arrived on stage here. Noah Tracy, please come forward. He states in his essay, I would place the most emphasis on climate change impacts and affordable housing. I think it is very important for everyone to have a safe place to live and make sure people can breathe clean, healthy air. This can all happen if I am mayor. Maya Ibanez. She states in her essay, my 2 priorities will be diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as affordable housing. I will host a get-together at the Northfield Armory Square. People from our community are invited to bring a dish out to share. Congratulations. Abigail Pape. She states in her essay, I would think affordable housing is the most important choice to focus on. My other choice for if I were mayor for a day is diversity, equity, and inclusion. I chose that because it helps support economic development and affordable housing. It happens that if people want to come to Northfield, that they will want to buy things. And if people like Northfield, they'll want to call Northfield home too. Bird Lenzen. He states in his essay, climate change would be the most important thing because nobody would want to live in a town where there is smog in the sky, a dirty river, and people ruining the environment. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are also on the top of my list. Let's enjoy each other's differences because why would we all want to be the same anyway? Bella Christofferson. She states in her essay, I would focus on all of the priorities, but one that I would work on first is affordable housing. If we had more affordable housing, we would probably have more diversity, equity, and inclusion. A fun idea to help the earth and reduce waste would be a bike that you can open a tab on its plastic wheel and put your compost in. When you pedal, it turns a crank inside the wheel to crush the compost. You could ride it on a bike trail to a compost garden to drop it off, and the workers would turn it into soil for growing vegetables, fruits, and plants to give to families in need. I sense a patent coming, maybe? Kaya Markovsky. She states in her essay, I would focus on these two things, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and climate change impacts. I know these are some big problems to address for a small town like Northfield, but if we all pitch in to help, I know we can make diversity, equity, and inclusion, and climate change impacts a lot better. Small things make the biggest difference. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. So in its second year, the 2019 Ethics Award recipient is a junior or senior high school student who has demonstrated the importance of moral principles in their academic and daily life. This year, I'd like to welcome Northfield High School counselor Mark Ansrud to say a few words about this year's award recipient, Olive Omoro.
It's my honor and privilege to be able to say a few words about Olive. Olive Amoro simply shows up. She works hard, she supports others, and she is a tremendous communicator. Olive has missed only 2 days of school in her over 3.5 years of high school. She literally and simply shows up consistently, and with a smile on her face, and a positive attitude. She came to Northfield from Kenya in 7th grade. By 11th grade, Olive was taking online college courses in English during her school day at Northfield High School. Her skill set and attitude have provided leadership opportunities in and outside of school, ranging from her work with peers as an academic student coach and link leader mentor for 9th graders, to her work on the board for the Northfield Healthy Community Initiative. Olive Amoro sets the bar high for herself, and she goes out of her way to help others achieve great heights. Thank you, Olive, for your great work to service of our community.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Olive, for being such an amazing person, for giving of your time and talents to others, and for pursuing excellence in all that you do. Congratulations. Next is our newly created City of Northfield Board and Commission Member of Excellence Award, which provides recognition to an individual city board or commission member for accomplishments of outstanding worth in advancing and improving public service in the city of Northfield. Selection criteria is based on exceptional contributions to the city of Northfield, fellow employees, and the community in the following areas: performs their duties exceptionally well and takes initiative, improves or enhances service and quality, exemplifies professionalism, teamwork, and dedication, advocates for creative solutions to policy problems, and demonstrates a high ethical standard. This year, the Council Employment Policy Committee has selected Dana Northfield, Housing and Redevelopment Authority Chair, for the Board and Commission Excellence Award. Dana keeps her eyes open for opportunity for the HRA and is pushing to find ways that a private-public partnership can find solutions to challenges of adding new affordable housing opportunities to our community. Dana is driven by a strong desire to get results. Results in the world of affordable housing requires collaboration, and Dana has built a foundation of trust amongst key community partners. Dana is very likable and fun to be with on the HRA. We know she brings a smile to every meeting. We are proud and honored to recognize Dana, as she knows together is how we build a strong community. Congratulations, Dana. The 2019 Living Treasure Award was presented to musician Donna Paulson on January 28th at 50 North. The event is hosted by members of the Arts and Culture Commission and Northfield News each year. Donna played a delightful program, including a solo piano performance, accompaniment of instrumental and vocal performers, and a seasonal sing-along. Congratulations, Donna. Could you please stand? The 2019 Human Rights Award was presented to the Community Action Center at the Martin Luther King Jr. Day Community Celebration. As the CAC honors its past and looks toward the future, there's much to anticipate on the organization's horizon. Capital improvements have been completed to its food shelf as the result of a partnership with Super Shelf, which transforms food shelves, creating welcoming environments for communities to access appealing, healthy food. Resources and partnerships to assist with Northfield's growing emergency housing needs continue to be solidified and nurtured. Funding from a Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development grant will support Northfield Works, the CAC's Community Job Partnership Program. Annually, the organization serves over 3,300 people through 8 main programs and receives support from more than 1,200 volunteers. Congratulations to the Community Action Center, current and past staff, board members, and volunteers at the CAC. Please stand for recognition. Thank you so much for all that you do for our community. The annual Employee Excellence Award allows employees an opportunity to recognize coworkers for the outstanding work that they do, and to honor employees who excel in their service to the people of the City of Northfield. The award is given to an employee who excels in one or more of the following criteria: teamwork, customer service, professionalism, leadership, innovation, and expertise. Steve Moss embodies each of the above criteria, and all staff members truly enjoy working with him. He has a great sense of humor and treats patrons and staff with respect and kindness. Congratulations, Steve, on being the recipient of the 2018 Employee Excellence Award. Could you please stand? As I've talked about many times, the city approved a new vision statement in 2017. This vision is an aspirational statement on a course to our future as we build off of our strengths and work through our challenges. With city work, as in life, there is no such thing as status quo, but rather a constant flowing change. I recently heard a presentation by Bush Foundation President Jen Ford Reedy, who was speaking about how change happens. Jen says that change may be good or bad, and either way change is stressful. But our capacity for change is what allows us to get better and see new possibilities for ourselves and our communities. Some time ago, I went on a group kayaking trip. I was excited to get going, but I soon realized it can be quite a challenge to even get in the water. The group has to get organized, get the different gear together, and figure out how to make the best use of people's different skills. You need to work together, but you also need to recruit those who have specific areas of expertise that will be needed on your journey. Jen Ford Reedy went on to explain that to make any sustainable change requires leaders who are great at working across differences of all kinds. This requires understanding and questioning our own assumptions, really listening to understand others, communicating to bridge differences, and building connections. I really took this to heart, and I know some things, right? But I'm glad I don't have to know everything. I truly value the talented people that are all around me. When our community has difficult decisions over limited resources, or we have differences of opinions about navigating our course, when things get hard, I want those talented voices to be heard, as well as the quietest ones, and I take very seriously my role in helping us stay together to figure it out. When you're paddling in opposite directions, you aren't going to get anywhere. And while that might seem a clearly bad idea when you're out on the water, it isn't so obvious in civic life. We can disagree, we can have spirited discussions about where we are going and how to get there, but in the end, we are in the boat together, and we'll be much more productive rowing in the same direction. As Ben mentioned earlier, this next portion of our program will be a high-level overview of our progress and some of the challenges that we found in each of our strategic plan priorities. Over the next 3 to 5 years, our strategic plan will be serving as our guide on our journey to building a better, stronger, safer, more resilient community. The first area that I'll be covering tonight is operational effectiveness. We've added 4 great city communication tools that are available to the entire Northfield community. These applications are designed to increase resident engagement, share information, and allow for timely comment on things that matter. We will be using POCO to gain feedback from you on different topics, and a community survey will be distributed later this year. To give input, you can go to poco.us or download the POCO app for iOS or Android. Everbridge provides an opportunity to get alerted about emergencies like severe storms and flooding and other important community news. You can find the link to sign up on the police department page on the city's website. If you'd like to receive updates on particular items on a regular basis from the City of Northfield, you can go to the city's website and click the blue Receive Updates button to sign up to receive regular communications items. And finally, the city also offers e-comment, a way for community members to reach out to the City Council about topics on a current agenda if you're unable to attend the meeting. Your opinions matter. These additional community engagement tools increase the ease of which we are able to hear directly from and communicate with you, the people that we serve. I hope that you'll take the time here this evening or later on this evening to sign up for each one of these. April 1st, 2020 is Census Day. That's just a little over 12 months away now. We have formed a local complete count committee to utilize local knowledge, influence, and resources to to educate our community and promote the census through locally based, targeted outreach efforts to obtain the most accurate count possible. Census numbers are utilized to determine congressional seats and the distribution of over $600 billion in funding to state and local governments each year. Please stay tuned for more information coming from our local committee. The city continues to have strong financial policies and reporting. Our community maintains a AA rating from Standard & Poor's. This rating reflects the view of the city's strong management with good financial policies and practices, as well as strong budgetary performance and flexibility. Our city has many needs, and in particular costly infrastructure to continue to maintain, so there are many challenges still despite our strong financial health. We are continuing to work on improving our financial planning, both in the short term and long term, to have a clearer roadmap for our financial planning needs and investments. The City of Northfield's total property taxes increased 4.9% from 2018 to 2019 to about $9.4 million. If you look at the upper graph on the screen, it shows Northfield in the color green, and we remained ranked second to the lowest in total city property taxes used to fund our services compared to similar cities. What this graph doesn't show is that the rate we pay in taxes in comparison to other cities would put us just above the average of these cities. Why? It is because we have significantly less business taxpayers in Northfield compared to these other cities. If we can grow our business in our community, we could improve our city services by increasing staff without having our individual households to pay anything more in city taxes. We know, for example, that we have significantly fewer public works employees compared to other communities. These are the workers to fix our streets, maintain our parks and recreation facilities, and plow our streets. The lower graph on the screen shows that Northfield has seen significant business growth since its strategic plan was developed. In fact, we've exceeded our goals to grow our taxable business values by over 10%. We'll be looking to set new goals in 2019. We as an organization value a safe and healthy community. Having our police officers build strong working relationships with community organizations and the people that they serve is an important component to maintaining that value. In 2017, we expanded the locations for Night to Unite to include underserved neighborhoods that had not participated in the past. In 2018, there were a record number of 44 neighborhood parties. In order to make this happen, we partnered with the Northfield Alliance for Substance Abuse Prevention, also known as Northfield ASAP, Growing Up Healthy, and Northfield Schools to reach more community members and make more broad-based connections across the community. This is a major event for all of our emergency personnel and a great community building opportunity. And we had lots of fun too. Northfield was named to several top safest Minnesota city and top safe college town lists in 2018. We enjoy a safe community reputation because of the hard work of our Northfield Police Department officers, many partner groups, and engaged community members. In addition to Night to Unite, our police department continued and expanded valuable programs, events, and partnerships, which include DARE, Healthy Kids Day, Safety Camp, Healthy Community Initiative Day, Career Exploration Day, Cinco de Mayo, Shop with a Cop, and Christmas Sharing. All of these opportunities build strong relationships with the people that our police officers serve and contribute to making our community safer. Thank you. So even though our crime rates remain nearly level in 2018, drug use and mental health issues remain a concern. We are collaborating with city, county, and state level groups to improve response and treatment options, including proposing and supporting state legislation. Locally, we continue to work alongside our partners to participate in efforts like Take It to the Box and Treatment Court, while also pursuing an integrated Community Opioid Response Grant. Additionally, we partnered with the Rice County Chemical and Mental Health Coalition to successfully secure a countywide grant to support mental health awareness training. Thanks to the grant, local police officers will receive crisis intervention training, equipping them to better recognize and respond to persons in a mental health crisis. On September 20th, 2018, our community and surrounding friends and neighbors in Rice County experienced 10 tornadoes along with straight-line winds. Thanks to our city emergency responders and the hard work of our cleanup personnel, our small town was put back in order really quickly. This created an additional opportunity for the people of our community to lend a hand to those hit harder by the storm system outside our city borders. A special thanks goes out to our friends at Northfield Shares, Mike Krantz and Carrie Carroll, and especially Steph Helkin and Rachel and Naomi Meisler for their sacrificial coordination of volunteer efforts over the course of multiple weeks. Could those that are here tonight that I just mentioned please stand? You are truly, that was an act of service above self. Thank you so much. We are so fortunate to have had no injuries as a result of this storm system, despite some significant damage and cost to many of our community members. This storm system that passed through our area is a great example of why it's important to sign up for Everbridge, our Community Emergency Alert Program. There are many opportunities to volunteer in our community, and I wanted to take a moment to call your attention to the Love Our City Community Serve Day that our faith community is organizing. In 2018, over 200 volunteers, young and old, worked side by side around town on various projects. The citywide Serve Day culminated in a community meal where we broke bread together to build stronger connections and share our stories of the day's events. While cities like Faribault have 12 public works staff, we have only 5 staff members to take care of our numerous parks, trails, streets, stormwater ponds, and so much more that we all use every day. Thank you so much to our faith community organizers for spearheading this really important event. It's meeting a need in our community in more ways than one. I encourage you to mark your calendar for this year's Love Our City Community Serve Day on May 18th and watch for ways to sign up to participate. All are welcome as we build our community home here together. Tobacco kills over 480,000 people each year. That's more than automobile crashes, gun violence, and opiate overdoses combined. While the smoking rates have declined in the United States, e-cigarette use has exploded since 2014. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb has called youth use of e-cigarettes an epidemic and indicated that youth e-cigarette use is up 77% from last year. Unless there is a trajectory change, tobacco addiction will dramatically shorten the lives of 5.6 million kids alive today. Over the next few weeks, the Northfield Public Schools will be distributing information and resources on vaping and tobacco use. Concurrently, we will be researching and bringing forward information on an ordinance that would restrict the sale of tobacco products to those who are 21 in Northfield. When properly enforced, Tobacco 21 laws disrupt the official availability of cigarettes and other nicotine products to young people. Continuing our outreach efforts around diversity, equity, and inclusion, the library will take on a new initiative on behalf of the city to provide Link Center services which connects people with local resources starting in May of this year. Our City ID program, which began in June of last year, has issued almost 400 City IDs to date. We are continuing to offer on-demand City ID applications at the library, as well as at additional outreach locations in both college campuses. Please stop at the library table in the atrium afterwards if you'd like to learn more about applying for a City ID. In September 2018, the library hosted its first ever Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. The September 2019 celebration is predicted to be even more popular and diverse. We are grateful for our 3 bilingual staff members at the library, which reflect the diversity of our city and help us better serve all of our community members. Other outreach initiatives include a continued collaboration with Northfield Promise and the Riverwalk Market Fair using the library book bike. We will continue to use the library bookmobile for regular outreach visits into neighborhoods, schools, and senior care facilities, as well as for special events. We'll also continue our very popular Books and Stars events Wednesday nights this summer in Northfield City Parks, featuring family-friendly musical events. 2018 was a productive year for the Arts and Culture Commission with the creation and adoption of the Arts and Public Places policy, which provides a process for approving and acquiring public art in Northfield. Public art was approved for installation at 2nd Street and Highway 3. Pictured on the left is Flame by Nick Swear. Also pictured is a rendition of our first publicly funded art sculpture, the Art Information Kiosk, which will be installed in the fall of 2019 at the corner of 6th Street in Division. The Art and Public Places policy outlines the Public Art Review Committee, or PARC process, whereby submissions for public art are reviewed and approved. The ACC is also sponsoring the adoption of the Northfield Cultural Plan, which is the result of a 9-month series of workshops with Arts Midwest and 6 Northfield representatives. Coming up this year will be one of our more visible PARC processes, involving a competition and creation of new, welcoming banners downtown, funded by the NDDC. Also coming up this spring and summer, new public art funded by Springboard for the Arts in partnership with the NDDC, the Arts Guild, and the ACC. In 2018, the city completed an inventory of its pedestrian facilities within the public right-of-way. This consisted of evaluating 64 miles of sidewalks, 1,592 curb ramps, 20 miles of trails, and 3 traffic control signals. This evaluation of public infrastructure will help the city with decisions on replacements over the next 20 years. Age-Friendly Northfield is continuing to work on the development of their action plan. This inventory and ADA transition plan is a working example of the types of improvements that can make a difference in being a community friendly to all age groups. In 2018, the City Council created the Northfield Transportation Advisory Committee to address regional roadways like Highway 246 and Highway 19 that run through our community. The broad group of committee stakeholders are also charged with pursuing both intracity and intercity transit improvements and the potential development of a local transit hub. We look forward to the analysis, findings, and recommendations of this group as they continue to meet. The city has over $21 million planned in infrastructure improvements over the next 5 years. This shows a commitment by the council to ensure that there are continued investments into the infrastructure we depend on every day. We have received 2 grants for the Jefferson Parkway and Highway 246 intersection improvement project. The Local Road Improvement Program and Local Partnership Program grants will contribute $1.4 million toward the $1.9 million project cost. The city values an improvement that will serve all users who travel in this area, including pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicles. The city is committed to a safe and efficient system and is exploring the possibility of underpasses as one additional design solution, as well as possible grant funds for further design enhancements. As part of the city pedestrian, bike, and trail system update, the alignment of Milltown State Trail will be identified through the city. The proposed route is along Jefferson Parkway over to Spring Creek Road, then out to Highway 19. The final report will go before the Park Board and Planning Commission on March 21st and to the City Council on April 2nd for formal adoption. The Minnesota DNR has received $500,000 in 2019 for acquisition, preliminary design, and planning for Milltown State Trail. The city is working with the DNR to utilize the money in Northfield this year. State grants are being sought for the underpass and local trail connections to the Milltown State Trail. Strong schools are critically important to the health of our community. The Strong Start Secure Schools referendum passed with 62% of voters in November. Bonds were sold in January with interest at nearly 3/4 of a point less than predicted, translating into $2.4 million in savings to taxpayers over the life of the bond. Core planning groups comprised of a variety of stakeholder groups have started work for the projects at Greenville Park and Bridgewater Schools. Core planning groups will start their work on the additions and renovations at Sibley, the remodeling at their current Greenville Park, and the remodeling at Longfellow this spring and summer. The City of Northfield and City of Dundas partnered on a public-private partnership to propose solving the dilemma of providing ice for youth hockey and figure skating in a safe and usable condition. Our current arena is in dire need of substantial repairs and improvements for improved access and accommodations for those with mobility concerns, as well as having adequate locker rooms and bathroom facilities. We had strong support for the referendum, with 45% voting in support within the City of Northfield. This was particularly good in consideration of the other major school referendum that was posed at the same time. Although the referendum didn't pass that would have brought a multi-purpose space to the community, the city is aware of the dire need at the existing ice arena and will continue to pursue the next course of action for that facility as identified as a priority in our strategic plan. The Northfield Area Fire and Rescue Service is nearing the end of the remodeled and expanded fire station project. The major remodel accommodates the vehicles we have in a safe and efficient manner. Access from the highway is improved for more efficient and safe response to emergencies. The building is flood-proofed and the site is filled to elevations beyond a 500-year flood level. The offices and sleeper rooms are fully remodeled for needed updates. This collaborative effort is an example of governments working together to improve our service delivery for us all. I look forward to the grand reopening ceremonies later this year. Mitzi Baker, our Community Development Director, and Nate Carlson serve as our skilled and experienced development team. They both possess a great deal of knowledge pertaining to community and economic development. A thriving community is supported by sound planning, intentional development patterns, a healthy economy, housing options for all, and safe structures. Community development takes seriously their role in helping Northfield reach its maximum potential as a vibrant, livable, sustainable, and thriving community. With little exception, every development proposal, new structure, building addition, or modification is handled by this department. For assistance with development, business expansion, business financing, or entrepreneurial initiatives, reach out to these two individuals. The numbers are in for 2018, and it proved to be a busy year. These numbers highlight the volume of work our small staff handles and also highlights great investment in the Northfield community. The 5 new commercial projects alone are valued at over $16 million. With little exception, all development proposals in construction projects go through the Community Development Department and represent involvement from every division: planning, economic development, housing, and building. The Economic Development Authority provided 4 grants in 2018 for entrepreneurial development in Northfield. $20,000 was granted through the Clem Chair Micro Grant Program for business expansion and business remodel. Supporting our existing businesses is a high priority for our city. Aurora Pharmaceuticals completed a $1.5 million expansion to accommodate business growth and continued investment in the Northfield community. The project added over 24,000 square feet of manufacturing space to the site. Aurora received $240,000 from the city through a tax increment financing incentive. The family residence memory care facility construction is progressing. When complete, this facility will provide needed services in our community. The family residence is a $1 million memory care and assisted living project that's locally owned. The EDA and Rice County are each supporting the local business with a $50,000 loan. In July 2018, officials celebrated the groundbreaking for the 97-unit Benedictine living community located just west of our Northfield Hospital that will provide both independent and assisted living options for seniors. There is an ability for a future phase of development at this same location. This photo shows the progress to date. The facility will open the fall of 2019. Carleton's Science Center is a $97 million project, and the Geothermal Campus Utility Project is another approximately $41 million. The first phase of the Science Center opens this fall, and the project will be fully complete in September of 2020. The utility project phase also finishes this summer and will be fully complete in 2021. The utility project will make Carleton the first campus-wide geothermal campus in the state, and one of only a few nationwide. It should reduce Carleton's carbon footprint by about 17% and greatly reduce Carleton's on-campus use of natural gas. The reunion has been under remodel since the fall of 2017. The project team has decided to completely remodel the interior space while also retaining the historical character of the exterior. When completed, the new restaurant will be an upscale, casual restaurant with many new features that the community will appreciate. Anticipated project completion and restaurant opening will be in April or May. The reunion will be a great addition to our community, and we can't wait to see its unveiling. Northfield Hospital and Clinics is planning a $13 million expansion project for this year. The project includes a 7,000 square foot addition to the Northfield Clinic and a 4,000 square foot addition to the birth center in the hospital. Both programs are growing and simply out of space to accommodate the demand. This project is planned to begin construction this summer. The city's Economic Development Authority sponsored a study by Urban 3 that focused on the per-acre productivity assessment of Northfield development. The study demonstrated higher value per acre in the older, more dense portions of the city and how development patterns and planning and land use decisions can impact tax value per acre. Additionally, the study illustrated how large footprint development, such as big box retail, is generally more expensive to service with public utilities and has a lower value return per acre than more urban development. These pictures show that just 4.3 acres of the 400 block on Division would equal almost 7 times the tax value per acre of 16.7 acres of Walmart. For another perspective, this 400 block of downtown Northfield has an almost $5.3 million value per acre in comparison to the almost $250,000 value per acre of Faribault West Mall. The city has 63 miles of roads, 80 miles of sanitary sewer, 96 miles of water main, and 56 miles of stormwater pipes. This infrastructure is expensive to build and maintain. The bottom line is, if we can promote business growth that uses our existing infrastructure first, that will be a smarter fiscal decision in the long run. We are working on economic development strategies that will allow us to plan and grow in a smart way that maximizes our infrastructure that will keep the costs of public services lower for everyone. Numerous city planning documents state that the Cannon River is an essential component of our Northfield identity and should be leveraged as a community asset for economic growth. the council-established committee will be working on a riverfront enhancement action plan that includes some of the following: concept plans for strategic park improvements, identified short-term and long-term projects and funding sources, preservation and conservation of the riverfront, identification of stormwater management project priorities, strategies for increased active use of the riverfront, and opportunities for business expansion on the corridor. Affordable housing is an issue of concern for cities all across our state and is one of the Council's main priorities in our 2018 to 2020 strategic plan. The Housing Redevelopment Authority, or HRA, is working with Three Rivers Community Action Agency to develop the Spring Creek 2 townhome project in the Southbridge area. Spring Creek 2 will add 32 units of workforce housing to the existing 28-unit Spring Creek townhomes, which is home to approximately 100 children. A tax credit application will be submitted in early June, and successful applicants will be announced in October of 2019. One of our housing-related objectives is to expand supportive and emergency housing for our community. 3 of the 5 homes owned by the HRA support the CAC Homeless Transitional Program, as well as 1 unit for Ruth's House of Hope for their Women in Transition program. The HRA also partnered with the Northfield Union of Youth, whose mission is to provide power and voice to area youth and to create a caring and enriching community. It is estimated that as many as 30 youth ages 14 to 24 are homeless at any given time in Northfield. To help address this, the NUY Homeless Prevention Program is providing training for host families who house homeless youth. The program supports a full-time social worker who works with homeless youth and housing insecure youth and their families. In 2018, the HRA committed $9,000 for the NUY Homeless Prevention Program, also known as the Wallflower Project. The HRA Rehabilitation Program is another resource that helps to maintain safe and affordable housing for income-eligible homeowners. The program assists homeowners with necessary repairs and improvements, including roof replacements, new gutters, foundation repairs, and electrical rewiring. This picture shows a foundation wall repair. In October 2018, the HRA sponsored a fall cleanup day for members of our community. The city, DSI staff, and volunteers assisted residents with the removal of unwanted items. A total of 11.57 tons of unwanted items, such as trash, tires, steel, and electronics items, were removed within 4 hours. Thank you to the HRA members and many volunteers who made this possible. The final strategic plan priority that I'll be covering tonight for you is our climate change impacts priority. In February of 2018, the city created the Climate Action Plan Advisory Board to assist with the climate change impact section of the strategic plan. The city contracted with Great Plains Institute to assist with the city climate action plan development. There will be 6 core areas of the plan: energy, transportation, waste and materials, land, food, and water. There are approximately 45 members of our community volunteering their time to bring forth recommendations in each of these core areas. Parallel to the Great Plains process, the city is working with Xcel Energy through their Partners in Energy grant program to help build the energy section, which will be one of the 6 core areas of the plan. The development of the Climate Action Plan will focus on how we can move to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and address 4 core sustainability value indicators, which are economic health. How do we keep the local economy prosperous? Physical health. How do we keep our residents of Northfield healthy? Environmental health. How do we ensure we have clean water, air, soils, etc.? Quality of life. How do we increase the vitality and zest for our residents and guests? And how can we make living in Northfield equitable for all? These 6 priorities we covered tonight will continue to be the focus of our city work plan over the next 3 to 5 years. We are on a journey, and it is more like a marathon than a sprint. In each of the priorities, we've made improvements, but there's more to do. We highlighted many great developments underway within the city, but we know that the city needs to grow our commercial and industrial tax base within the community. Based on our comparative communities, we have about half the commercial and industrial value in comparison. If we were just at the average commercial and industrial tax value as our comparable cities, our tax rate would be well below the average of our comparison group. Workforce or affordable housing is a challenge across the country. Several years ago, Northfield identified the need for a wider range of housing options and prices. The city will continue to explore ways to expand and retain housing options in our community. Infrastructure is an extremely costly and challenging issue. We need to make sound data-driven decisions regarding ways that our infrastructure can support our community objectives. Our city continues major investment in diversity, equity, and inclusion. We will be reviewing a racial equity action plan to be approved by council this year that will identify inequities and use tools to eliminate implicit bias within our city operations. We have an active effort to explore how our operations are impacted by climate change and to implement policies that are good for the environment and our pocketbook, to be leaders in resiliency and sustainability. We have made progress in the priorities identified in the strategic plan, and with your continued work and support, we can build a better, stronger, safer, more resilient community. However, to do that, some things have to change. Doing things the way we've always done them won't lead to a different result. We know we need to do some things differently, and if we stay in our comfort zone, we can't make things better. Change can be a challenge, but we can't let ourselves fear change. Change is how we make progress. We have to pull together, work together, and keep the broader goals in mind. An African proverb states that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. How we travel this journey together is just as important as our ultimate arrival. Sometimes we journey through storms, but it's during those times when we pull together that we become stronger as a community. I am personally grateful for all of the amazing people I work with, my council colleagues, city staff that are here, and those that are out on their shift on the streets looking after our community, the hardworking volunteers on our boards and commissions, over 200 of you, other community organizations, some represented here today, and others out in the community getting the work of the city done, of their organizations as well. Together, we are making a difference and building a better community for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you so much for being with us here this evening, and I hope that you will join us in the atrium for dessert and music by Randall Ferguson in the atrium, sponsored by XL Energy. I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much.